Hey guys, so today I wanted to try some new products from Milani. They recently came out with a couple new gilded palettes as well as a handful of new eyeliners. So today we're going to be trying these, swatching these, talking about these. So if you guys are curious to see what I think of the new products from Milani, then just keep watching. First off, let's talk about the palettes. They launched 4 new palettes. I have 3 of them right here in front of me. We have the Gilded Violet, we have the Gilded Ember, and we have Gilded Jade. What I like is it shows you what's on the inside of the palette on the back of the box, so there's no guessing, no need to open them. It says mirror included, which is awesome. So we have a red tone, a plum tone, and a green tone. So let's open them up and start with swatches. So that's where we're going to begin. I just did a palette declutter video earlier today, so it seems appropriate that I got rid of a handful and I'm adding 3 more to my collection. What's the saying? There should be 2 out for every 1 in for like your wardrobe. Does that also apply to cosmetics? Alright, so inside, very similar to the outside. It feels like glitter, but it's just like a printed raised pattern. It's not actual glitter. This is raised gold writing. Okay, so I should have mentioned that these are face and eye palettes. I didn't even tell you what they are. They are face and eye palettes. You can see on the back that they have like 2 highlight shades and then 9 shadows. It says soft mattes and saturated metallic shimmers. Here they are unboxed, so let's start off with Gilded Ember. It says the name of it on the binding of the palette. And sorry guys, it is still hot. I need to tie my hair up. It is still crazy hot at 9 o'clock at night in early October when I am filming this. Alright, not the cutest, but we're gonna have to make do here. Alright, so let's start off with these highlights because I am dying to know what these look like. We have Flicker and Molten for highlights. Ooh, that's pretty. They're very pigmented. They don't look glittery. This one looks like it has a bit of a pink shift to it. Like when I'm looking at it from above, it looks like I can see some pink to it, but straight on it looks gold. So we'll see how that looks on my skin tone. Let's move on to the shadows. I'm just gonna go in order across. They're very soft. So we have Phoenix, Gilded, Toasted, and Rose Ember right here. Phoenix, Gilded, ooh. Toasted, okay, that's darker than I thought, and then Rose Ember. That one didn't swatch super well. I have Golden Hour, Pyro, Ignite, and Lit. These metallics are really, really creamy. And then the final one is Fuego, which is Spanish for fire. So here are the shades in the Gilded Ember palette. Let's move on to Gilded Violet. I want to start again with the highlight shades. Ooh, Seeing Stars, which is a bit crumblier than the last palette. And then It's Delicate. So we have Seeing Stars and It's Delicate for the highlights. We have Your Majesty, Very Violet, Past Curfew, and No Angel, and Past Curfew was very, very dusty. You can see how dusty it is. Just kind of broke apart. Next we have Kiss Kiss, Deep End, which looks intense, Heavy Petal, and Melodrama. Look at that blue. And then the last one in that palette is Full Moon, which looks like a pinky violet shift color. So here are the shades in the Gilded Violet. And finally we have Gilded Jade, which I will swatch on the other arm. And again, I'm going to start with the highlight shades. These are very soft like the first palette was. So we have Aura and Amber Glow. There's Aura. Ooh. It's like a yellow gold to maybe green gold. That's pretty. And Amber Glow. Okay, first 4 shades: Grounded, Try Me, Mint Julep, and The Envy Of. It's the first one, which is like a nice neutral shade. Nice lime green, a mint, and then like another gold shade, which I don't know if you need both of these in the same palette. This one's more yellow than greenish, but still I feel like this one would probably suffice. The next four we have Gilded, which I think showed up in the other palette as well. We have Gilded, we have Lagoon, Edible, and That's Deep. Again, with the blue one, that deep blue one in the other palette, this one seems to be a bit crumbly as well. And the last shade is Jaded, a nice deep green. Gilded Ember, Gilded Violet, and Gilded Jade. This one is the one that calls me the most, but I also like the warm tone one. And that blue looks stunning from the cool tone one. So I don't know what we're gonna do. I'm going to wipe these off, then we'll start with highlight. Okay, so I have 5 of the new eyeliners. I believe there are 6 total. I saw 5 at the Milani display, but they weren't all the shades that I have in front of me here. So I have shades 3 through 7, so let me unbox them and then we will start with some swatches. Okay, so on the box it says these are the new Stay Put eyeliners. Long wear, lasts up to 16 hours, sweat resistant, waterproof, built-in sharpener. It says there's a smudger, a built-in sharpener, and the crayon. 1 stroke, intense color, glides on easily, and then sets. Sounds good. So let's start with swatches. The first one I have is number 3, Duchess, which looks like a nice purple shade. That's lighter than I expected. I thought this would be like an intense purple, but it's more of like a gray tone purple, which I'm not complaining about. It says that it has a sharpener, which is right here, and a smudger on the edge. But I've found that in the past, when I've had waterproof or water-resistant liners, they didn't smudge well because they're meant to stay put. So we'll see how that works. This was number 3. Number 4, Femme Fatale, which looks like a deep navy. Again, not as dark as I was expecting. I was expecting more of like a black and navy. Not complaining though. Number 5, Moss Boss. Moss Boss, it's like a nice olive green. Ooh, that's pretty. I like that one. It's not as olivey as I was expecting. Number 6, Silver Foxy, which is a metallic gray or silver. And then number 7, Gold Digger. Some of these look like they either melted in transit or were used before. There's Gold Digger. Alright, so I have to say that the greens are calling to me right now. So I'm going to start with highlights. And the first one that I'm dying to see what it looks like is Aura from the Gilded Jade palette. This is that one that was like gold green. I'm curious to see what it looks like on my face. So I have a little bit of Thrive bronzer on, a little bit of very light blush because I didn't want to overpower anything else being put on top of it. So I'm just going to grab a Sonia Kashuk fan brush and dip into Aura and see what it looks like on my face. I have a feeling I'm going to look like an alien, but we'll see. Okay, it just looks like a light gold. I'm just going to spritz my face real quick and see if we can intensify it a little bit. Okay, so let's dip back into Aura and see what happens. Ooh, that's much brighter. Okay, it's definitely yellow gold here with just like a hint of lime, but straight on I see a little bit of like a green cast. Can you guys see that? To the side, gold with a hint of green. Straight on a little bit of like a limey green cast. Interesting. And I know the other one in this palette is going to be too deep for my skin tone, so let's try another palette. In the Gilded Violet, we have that blue purple one and like a pinky tone one. And then in the Gilded Ember, we have this one here, which looked like it was like a pink and rose shift, and then one that will be too dark for me. So I want to try this one. This is Flicker. I'm going to grab a crown brush, highlighting brush, dip into that and try it on the other side. You do seem to get a lot. Okay, it just looks like a soft gold. Again, we're going to spritz and then dip back in. Okay, it looks gold on the side. Straight on, I'm getting some sort of shadow right here. Yeah, there's some strange undertone to that. I feel like it has like almost like a gray pink undertone. Straight on, not loving either of these, but on the side, this one looks nice, and to the side, this one looks kind of like limey. So neither of those are really my color preference. I would probably prefer It's Delicate from the rose one. That's what that looks like. So just so you're kind of getting a feel for what some of these shades look like. They're interesting, not necessarily my cup of tea. I prefer like a peachy gold or a like white gold or even like a soft rose highlight, but I'm not really seeing any of my ideal shades in here, so just take it for what it is. Those are just my opinions on what I think works best on my skin tone. Everybody's different. All right, so now I think I want to go into the Gilded Jade palette to start with Grounded. Then I'm going to go into Edible, this deep green, just to kind of deepen up the outer corner and crease a little bit. Okay, then I think I'm going to switch over to a smaller brush and go into That's Deep, that deep green. I'm definitely getting a ton of fallout, guys. So if you're using these deeper colors, do your eyes first. Thankfully, I have nowhere to go tonight, but be warned. I have a feeling that deep blue on the Gilded Violet will do the same thing. I'm going to spray my brush and go back into that green. It's a little too loose and fluffy to get a good handle on. Do you see how more intense it is wet? Then I'm taking a clean brush and I'm going to go into, I actually want to use this highlight shade on my eyes, so I'm going to spray that one as well and dip into the highlight shade for the inner part of my lid. That's really fun. Grab a little bit of this green and use that to blend the two shades together in the center. That's really fun. Okay. Lower lash line, I will try something else. I want to try this blue because it's so intense. So I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to spray a different brush now and go into Deep End, which is this like blue purple shade, and just run that along the lower lash line. It looks like it's going to be really intense. This one's actually coming out more sheer than I was expecting. Maybe it's best to be packed on, not kind of dragged along the lash line. Not as impressed by that blue as I thought I would be, but I am seeing like the pink and purple shift to it. Let's try the olive liner in top and bottom waterlines. That worked really well. I usually have a hard time lining the waterline, but this worked really well. Let me show you what it looks like right up close. So I've got the Gilded Jade palette on the top, the Gilded Violet on the bottom, and then the kind of olive, the Moss Boss liner in the top and bottom waterline. So the colors are really intense. They blended really well. They intensify really well. Like I said, these deep matte colors are very powdery and will kind of dust onto the face if you're not careful. So I would say apply those wet. For a more intense color, that's the color I have on the outer part of my eye. I really like the metallic on the inner part of my eye. So let's head on over to another palette and see what we can come up with on the other eye. Like I said, I'm not going out tonight. So I'm going to go into Gilded Ember and we'll start playing with some colors in here. I think I'm going to start off with Golden Hour right here in the middle. Ooh, very, very dusty here. These mattes are really like floofing everywhere. Whew. Okay, next I'm going to go into Lit right here. It looks like it has a hint of shimmer to it. We're gonna try it. That one blends out really easily. Like you're not gonna get this intense color, I don't think, unless you dampen your brush. So that looks good. I'm going to now go into Pyro and see if I can deepen out the outer corner. This looks like a red-orange. And then I think I want to see what this Rose Ember color looks like. It looks like it might be a gold and pink duochrome one, so I'm going to spray my brush again and go into that color for the inner part of the lid. Doesn't seem to be picking up well with a brush. No, okay. So I'm gonna try with my finger because it seems to be a very wet formula. Very chunky. Pretty. I think that I'm going to go into, I'm going to go into It's Delicate on the inner part of the eye. It's still a little bit too dark though. I still feel like I need something lighter. I'm going to try Full Moon and see what happens. That makes it more of like a pinkish purple. It's fun. I'm gonna go ahead and line the lower waterline with purple and then I'll smudge it out to see how the smudger brush works. This one's not sticking to the waterline as well as the other color was. But it does work. It just takes a little bit of effort. So now let's try this smudger brush that is on the other end of the eyeliner. It's smudged really well. I kind of got the same effect with the shadow as I did with the liner on the lower lash line. So overall, I think these are really nice shadows. I'd watch out for the deep shades. The deep matte shades seem to be very powdery. They will dust everywhere. They do kind of blend out quickly, so the color blends away quickly, so you kind of need to pack them on or apply them with a wet brush. That seems to be what works the best for me. So if you want to use a matte shadow as a liner, I suggest dampening your brush first with like facial mist, water, setting spray, anything like that. The metallics are all really nice. There are some in here that seem to be like these two that seem to be like more of a wet formula, and they only apply with the fingers. I can't seem to get them to come off with a synthetic brush. So there are some like more wet formulas. I compare them to like the Lucy Beauty metal shadows. They have that like wet packed feeling. It's hard to explain. So they may take a little bit of work, a little bit of experimenting with how they apply best: finger, dry brush, dampen brush, etc. So I think that theirs are really fun shades. The ones that I see myself using the most are probably Ember and Jade. These are just the colors that call to me the most, but I really like the highlight in this palette, the violet one. So I think that Milani did a really nice job with these. I like the outer packaging. I like that the names are on the back. I like that on the box you can see what colors you're getting inside without opening the packaging. They're sleek and compact. You do get a nice size mirror inside. So I think that they did a really nice job with these, and the liners, I have no complaints about them. The olive one is still in my waterline. It hasn't kind of collected in my tear duct. The purple one looks like it has a bit of sheen in my waterline, but it's still there, no complaints. So I do think that these are nice products from Milani. I think they did a nice job. I definitely give them a thumbs up. So I hope you guys enjoyed seeing this new from Milani video. If you did, please remember to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and as always, I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.